Good afternoon and happy Halloween to all of you out there watching the video today. And in the spirit of Halloween, I thought today we would explore a little bit with my top 5 gothic horror games, personal favorites of all time. What is our fascination with the darkness? Our other side, our alter sides. And no matter the genre that you prefer, we all love a good fright. We all love a great scary game. Everybody's got that favorite horror game, no matter if you're into action games or fighting games or RPGs or looter shooters or whatever. Everybody's got that favorite horror game. And I've got 5 of them. So in celebration of Halloween, here are my quick hitter top 5 personal favorite horror games of all time. And we are starting with that guy in the corner right there. One of my first horror games when I was a kid was Shadowgate on the NES. Unforgettable music. It was just a very pen and paper kind of like RPG you go through as a story-based game, text-based game, but it had a real charm to it that I loved, and the creatures were legit scary. The situations were very scary. It was a very cut and paste kind of like adventure fantasy game, but it had a horror twist element to it that was great. And the death music really drove home what this game was. It had a haunting sound to it. That's what I'm talking about right there. You heard that? It was a rap. It was scary. And the way the Grim Reaper would come in, Death himself would come in to frame. Excellent game. One of my favorites. So that makes number 5. Number 4, Silent Hill 2. James Sutherland's quest to find answers to a mysterious letter that he gets from his wife Mary is chock full of psychological horror, some of the best horror moments ever in a video game, and some of the most memorable creature designs from it. For me, I think some of the scares in the first Silent Hill are better just because of the technology and the eeriness of having to use the fog with the little kids and stuff like that. But Silent Hill 2, I think, ups the storytelling to a whole new level. Silent Hill 2 deals with a lot of horror movie tropes, but it also gets deep into the psychology of the characters in a way that other games before, horror games, had never done. And it really drew you in and made you feel the terror of the game. Silent Hill 2 is a masterpiece, and the remake is even better than the original, which is very hard to do sometimes, but it's a great game. Number 3 on my list, this might surprise some people if we're just going not quality of the game, but my most memorable experiences with a horror game. Resident Evil 2. Now, I've said many times it's one of my favorite games of all time, but it makes number 3 on this list because it has great atmosphere. It has great mood. The horror and the situations the characters are put in with Leon and Claire, depending on which scenario you go, it's a really fun romp through Raccoon City. But what it does better than the remake is the atmosphere and actually being in the town at a certain point. Like, you can hear the howls in the distance. You can hear the wind blowing through the empty, deserted streets of the town. You can hear the howl of the creatures in the background. You can feel the loneliness of being in this big town, but being all alone with these things roaming the streets. And the score. The score is incredible. Everything about the Resident Evil 2 score, you can make a case that it is one of the best scores ever in a horror game as far as like producing the atmosphere. Now, games like Bloodborne have more bangers, if you will, or whatever, but like hit type tunes. But Resident Evil 2's atmosphere, what the score creates, this swirling symphony of horror and chaos and loneliness. For me, for my money, that PS1 OST for Resident Evil 2 is still unmatched in a horror game. So it makes number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list, the music is playing right now through this video. Nightmare Creatures. We talked about this recently on a stream, how much I love Nightmare Creatures. My love for Nightmare Creatures 1 cannot be understated. Again, the things I look for in a great horror experience is connection to the characters, the score, the atmosphere, the mood. When you're making a horror game, atmosphere is everything. It's everything. Like, we talk about this time of year, Halloween, you know, the atmosphere of Halloween. It's fall, things are changing, it's crisp, you know. Horror games do the same thing for me, creating a great atmosphere. Nightmare Creatures does that. I love the setting of Nightmare Creatures, the old 1800s London. So for those of you who don't know, the premise of the game is you're chasing this occultist named Adam Crowley, and he's created these creatures. He's trying to turn London into this city of the dead, and you play as a priest and a biologist. The priest, Ignatius Blackward, is really cool. He fights with a scythe, and you're chasing Crowley. And then the other character, Nadia, she's a biologist, and she understands the workings of, you know, how to take these monsters down and stuff like that. They don't get too much into that, but you can use your imagination. That's what the biologist and the priest would be doing, chasing this guy through the streets of London. The score for this game is incredible. Like, what Frederick Mott does with the mood, the tone, the atmosphere, creating this whirlwind of horror, and again, loneliness. Like, there's no help coming. You're it. And if you get cornered, that's it. That's all you got. Like, it really does a great job of creating this hellscape, but not in like an overstated kind of way. It's very nuanced. It's very understated. The whole score is like this piece playing here. That's most of your levels. There are some rock pieces for boss fights and stuff, but it has a cathartic feel to it when the guitars and drums kick in and everything. So Nightmare Creatures is my number 2. Number 1, I think Halloween. I think Gothic horror. When you're thinking Gothic horror, how can you not think Castlevania? As you all know, Castlevania is one of my favorite game franchises of all time. Picking just one for this tale is hard. It's really hard. Like, but if I was gonna pick one to single out for Castlevania, I'd probably Castlevania 3 or Symphony of the Night. Though one of my favorite Castlevania games is Curse of Darkness. It's probably my favorite Castlevania game. But as far as just horror and monsters and all that kind of stuff, how can you not love a good romp through Wallachia with either Simon or Trevor or Alucard, whoever you pick. Even if you like Lords of Shadow. I thought Lords of Shadow, the first one, was pretty good as an Elseworlds kind of tale. But Castlevania is my number 1. I love, like, even in the NES days, there were dark things in the backgrounds of those levels, like bodies hanging, like skeletons, like rotting bodies that are just hanging from the rafters. Piles of bodies in the catacombs. The catacombs themselves are just dark and horrific. And even like the elements they present, of course, back in the day, you didn't have the technological and storytelling advances that we have today, but a Castlevania game, especially a Metroidvania game today, would go so hard. It would be, and they could do it up with the horror, the score. The soundtracks of Castlevania are always great, but there was like really like beautiful type pieces. I wouldn't say they were horror pieces. There were some horrific themes in there that were scary or whatever, or dread-inducing, but I wouldn't say there was anything that were really like top-level horror, like a Nightmare Creatures or a Resident Evil 2, or even a Silent Hill, for that matter. Anyway, that's my top 5. I want to go into deeper retrospective on a few of these titles here soon, but this was just a quick hitter today. It's a busy day for me. It's my birthday. It's Halloween, taking the kid out trick-or-treating and everything today, so I only had time for a couple of quick hitters today, but we'll be live tonight. Later on tonight, it's probably going to be about 10 or 11 tonight, but live stream, birthday, Halloween live stream. Come hang out. We're going to have a great time. I don't know what we're going to play yet. We're going to play some stuff. And I hope y'all come out for it. Have a great night. Be safe. Be good to each other. Keep rocking. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Happy Halloween.